Hump Day. It is Craig Bennett, aka CashKeg, here with you for another Prize Picks video. I'm going to give you some of my top plays today, kind of walk through them, give you my analysis behind each pick. If you're going to fade them, if you're going to join with me, hopefully it helps you make some money. If this helps your research and you feel like it brings value to you, hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel, it means a lot, and I'll keep knocking these videos out for you, and hopefully it helps you win some money. If you don't have a Prize Picks account, use promo code DFSArmy, link in the below in the description. Get you 100% instant match of $100. And again, real easy to play. We're just going over and under on stats, and it's a lot of fun to play. But with that, let's just dive right into this and talk a few plays. All right, as you can see, I have some highlighted already on the board, and then we'll talk a little bit more about some other ones as well. But I wanted to give you some of my top plays. And I think I'm going to do a little bit different. I'm going to give you my top two. And the top two I'm going to give you is what I would start my plays with. This is what I would start a two-play power play, which is 3 extra money. And that's what I would start with. And that's where I would put a big chunk of my money, is these two-play power plays. Mix and match them a little bit. But just like in sports betting or DFS, you know, you put more money in those, and then your bigger five, if you're doing a five-man power play or 5-man flex, it's just a lot harder to hit all 5 plays. Your bankroll will be much better. So let me give you my top 2 plays on the board and then discuss them. And those are the ones I would start with if I was going to build around and talk a little bit about them. And then we'll talk about some of these other ones. So first one on the board is Jimmy Butler over 7.5 assists. Now, Kyle Lowry is going to be out this game going up against Portland. They're favored by 8.5. It's a 215.5 over under, but Jimmy Butler's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. Now, he's just coming back. He's just coming back from injury. But, you know, he's been there 3 games and he's went 10, 9, 10 assists. And he's just, you know, he's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. He's not going to look to score. He looks to get people involved. There's nobody on this Portland team that's going to be able to stop him. So he's going to be pulling this up. He's going to be getting his teammates involved. He's going to be, you know, letting Hero get his shot. He's going to let, you know, Robinson get his shot. So the 7.5 is too low for me. This should be closer to, you know, 9. So I think we're getting a couple points on this. So this is one of my favorite plays on the board. Like I said, with him coming back and no Kyle Lowry to have the ball in his hands, it's just going to be in Jimmy's Butler hand all day long here. So this is my top play on the board. Second one here, we're going to go up to Kyrie Irving over 5 assists. Again, I think this is 2 points too low. You know, he's been back for 4 games. The first 3 were with Kevin Durant, so we can't kind of take those into consideration with his assists. So it's basically James Harden and Kyrie Irving here. Now I still think James Harden is going to be more the facilitator, and Kyrie Irving is going to be more of the scorer. But we have a game where it's 231.5 over under, with Washington favored by 1.5. So, you know, we got no Joe Harris still. Claxton is still out. Bembry's questionable in this game. So it's a spot where they're going to have to do all the heavy lifting. And, you know, you take a team total that high, the ball's going to be moving around. And I still think this is, again, too low for Kyrie Irving at 5 assists. You know, I think it should be closer to around 7. But I do think he's going to be a scorer. So if you feel a little uncomfortable about the assists with him, and I didn't put them both up here, people were saying something, you can't play them both. I get that. You can't play different stats on the same person. I'm just kind of using this video to talk a little bit about, you know, my analysis of it. So I didn't put it up on the board, but it's one I like, and I'll talk about it. And it's Kyrie Irving over 22.5 points. Again, these first 3 games was with Kevin Durant. There's no Kevin Durant now, right? So it's going to be Kyrie Irving having to do a bunch. We saw that game against Cleveland. You know, he played almost 40 minutes, played 38 minutes in that game against Cleveland, and put up 27 points. And he put up 23 shots, right? You know, he's 27, 7, and 9 in that game. So again, I think, you know, Harden's going to be still more the facilitator, and Irving's going to be more of the scorer. So this 22.5 just feels low with me. Even if Kevin Durant, you know, was playing, he put up 22 in those first 2 games. And then that game against Chicago, where they just absolutely stomped him, he only put up 9. But again, if you don't feel comfortable with assists, if you want to roll this one, these are just some of my favorite plays. The Irving points and the Irving assists, they just feel way too low, 2 or 3 points on both sides of it. Let's move on to the next one here. And again, it's his teammate running here, James Harden. James Harden over 10 assists. Again, I think he's going to be more the facilitator here, right? That's what he does. But both of these guys are going to have to do a little everything. Play massive minutes again, 40 minutes against Cleveland, put up 22, 7, and 10. But the one thing you got to notice is why I say he's more the facilitator. He only put up 12 shots, right? Only 12 shots. Kyrie Irving put up 23. So that tells you, James Harden is still going to be that, he's still going to score, but he's still going to be looked to pass first. Now, if he's went at or over this mark in 4 of his last 5, and I don't see that changing. So I have no problem going here to James Harden. And like I said, I don't mind playing James Harden over assist and Kyrie over assist because they're both going to have the ball in their hands a ton. And I want to make sure that, they can easily hit this number just like they did last time, both over in this matchup. So I definitely want a piece of this. If you only want one of them, I get it, but I have no problem playing both of them here. The next one we're going to look at here is Seth Curry over 4.5 assists. Now this one is a little odd, but he's hit this 4 out of his last 5 times. Even with Maxey back, he's still in there. He's still facilitating, playing a ton of minutes. That's one thing we love to see. He's played 32, 40, 36, 34, 37 minutes, just consistently going over this mark. If we look back past those 5 games where he went 4 over 5, he went over this mark 6 of his last 6 games, even before this. So he's went over this a ton. So this 4.5 feels a little light. It's one that I probably wouldn't have looked at if I didn't dig a little deeper. We looked on some of the other books, like real books out there for looking at assists. There's actually juice on this over as well, like minus 140 at over 4.5 at some of these like books. So again, that tells me people are betting that over as well. So again, don't mind Seth Curry over 4.5 as well. And the last one that I have up here on the board is makes me a little nervous, but Mike Conley over 15.5 points. And the reason that I like this bet with Mike Conley is, if we look at, they're going up against Houston, right? And Houston, when it comes to giving up fantasy points to the point guard, is number 1. When it comes up to giving real life points to the point guard, they're number 3. They give up a ton. They average giving up 24.5 real life points to the point guard. And what else helps Mike Conley in this situation is, we just saw last night that Donovan Mitchell is out this game. So we don't have no Donovan Mitchell. He's out. He's in concussion protocol. So that's going to open up the ball. He should have the ball in his hands, but he'll look to score a little bit more. So 15.5 feels a little light. It's a little more risky, but having those injuries, having the matchup on the table against Houston, I can see him where he scores 20 points here. So I do like this over on Mike Conley, 15.5 points. So if you go back through and look at through these assists a little bit, I was looking at a few more of these. Kyle Kuzma over 2.5. I do like that a little bit. Not that one I want to bet. And the other one that kind of stood out to me, but the matchup's not great when you look at the matchup for giving up assists to the point guard and guard. These numbers feel really low. Terry Rozier, 3.5 assists. He's went over this mark, 5 out of his last 5 games. So if you want to take a stab at that, I don't mind. Just one thing to keep in mind, that point guards, Boston Celtics are ranked, second in the league, at least at giving up assists, and 4th in shooting guards. So they're really stingy at giving up assists. So it's one thing that maybe that's baked into those lines a little bit, but those still feel a little too low for me. Same thing with LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball. 4 out of his last 5. We know that he does a little bit of everything, but he does look to pass a little bit more than Rozier. Rozier does look to get a shot off. So I don't mind either one of these. It's just one of those things to keep in mind, that matchup. Even though the Boston's not a great team, it just surprised me a little bit that they're a little tougher giving up the assist. Just looking at the numbers. So again, if you're looking at 2 other plays, those numbers do feel a little low. It's just the matchup a little bit when you do look at a little bit deeper. Just maybe not put him in the top 5. But again, I do like him. And if you do look at, it looks like, people are betting him up. LaMelo Ball is like minus 145 juice on some of the sports books at over 6.5, and Rozier is minus 40 at over 3.5. So, both these are getting bet on the over at some of the books. So that's one that I would look at. Giannis here at 6 assists, still no Drew here. Don't really like it. Going up against Memphis. One thing about Memphis you got to consider is this game could get a little weird. There's no Bane in this game. So it makes me worry a little bit. Milwaukee's favored by 6.5, 225.5 over under. There's no Kyle Anderson, there's no Desmond Bain. So I don't know where this can go, but like Ja Morant, I was looking at his 6 assists. Then I was like, he's went over at 4 last 5 games, but he might have to look to score more with no Bain out there. Usually he can kick it out to Bain. Bain will hit that 3-pointer. Jaren Jackson will hit that 3-pointer. So it could hurt his assists a little bit. He might look to score. So maybe we go over and look at his points. See if he's on the board with points. And where's he at? He's at 25.5. That's a pretty high number. He's only hit it once out of the last 5 times, but maybe the books are telling the same kind of thing. There's no Bain out there. He's going to have to look to score a little bit. That's too high for me to touch, but that's just kind of how I read that a little bit. So I didn't really want to touch his assist numbers too much. Again, looking at points over here, like I said, I don't really want to touch Harden's because I think he's going to be more facilitator, even though I think he can easily hit that. That's why I like Kyrie Irving's more if you're going to bet those points. Like I said, that's one of my top bets today. One other one I was looking at, I just want to mention before I get on out of here, is rebounds. The one I was looking at was Kyle Kuzma over 9.5 rebounds. Now I thought with all these centers coming back that it would hurt him a little bit, but man, he has been getting the boards. 4 out of his last 5 games, he's hit over this, and he's just playing super well. Even if you go back beyond these 5 games, he hit this number 4 out of his last 5. So he's hit this number 8 out of his last 10 times. But 16, 12, 10, 22 boards. Again, close matchup against, Brooklyn here. I don't mind taking one of these pieces back. And if I was going to run one back, it would probably be Kuzma boards. Even though that seems high, he just continues to crush. And the minutes he's playing is extremely high. So, even though Bradley Beal's back, Kuz seems to really be getting after the rebounds. So I don't mind taking a chance at that as well. Another one we could look at that I was kind of eyeballing a little bit was Bam 8.5 rebounds against Portland with Nurk, but nothing that I'd much rather take Kyle Kuzma's. But with that, again, those are kind of my top plays on the board for today. I appreciate each and every one of you checking this video out. Again, if it helps you in any way in your research and you think it brings value to your research, hit that thumbs up for me, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments, what is your favorite play today? Or if you want me to comment or give you analysis on a play that you're kind of on the fence on or wondering, leave me something in the comments and I will be sure to answer it. And if you don't have an account at PrizePicks, head on over there, use promo code DFSArmy and get that 100% instant deposit match up to $100. And with that, I will see you on the flip side. Deuces.